Chosen one, pause right here. Take a breath. Because you didn't stumble into this moment by accident. You didn't scroll randomly. You didn't just click a title. This message crossed your path because heaven aligned the timing, because your spirit was ready to hear what your mind has been struggling to understand. Something has been happening behind the scenes of your life, and deep down you felt it, even if you couldn't explain it. There has been a shift, a sudden distance, a quiet separation that came without warning, without answers, without closure. You felt the energy change. Conversations faded, access was cut, and it hurt in a way that didn't feel ordinary. This separation is painful because it is necessary, not because you were wrong, not because you failed, but because God was intervening in ways you couldn't yet see. Chosen one, you've survived unseen battles. Battles where you smiled on the outside while bleeding in silence. Battles where you questioned your calling, your worth, even your sanity, wondering why certain connections felt draining, confusing, or heavy, yet so hard to release. You tried to hold things together out of loyalty, love, or fear, while heaven was quietly investigating what no longer belonged in your future. And then it happened. You felt the distance suddenly. No explanation, no closure. But this is not rejection. It is divine removal. Before we go any deeper, chosen one, pause for just a moment. Hit subscribe and comment, "I received this," if your spirit is already responding, because this is not just content. It's alignment. It's a spiritual step. And what's about to unfold will meet you exactly where you are. What you're experiencing now is not chaos. It's clarity being born. God does not remove without purpose. When He clears the path, it's because something greater is approaching, something that cannot arrive while old interference remains. The confusion you felt was never a sign you were lost. It was a sign you were growing beyond what could follow you. You are not being punished. You are being protected. You are not losing. You are being prepared. And as this message continues, a hidden truth is about to rise into the light, one that will finally explain why this removal had to happen and what it's making room for next. Chosen one, have you ever felt someone vanish from your life so suddenly that your heart was left grasping for answers? Have you replayed moments, conversations, or even imagined reasons that never came, wondering why this distance appeared without warning? That sudden absence, that quiet exit, it's not your fault. It's not a reflection of your worth, your love, or your effort. It is a divine orchestration. Some departures are designed to be felt, not explained. Heaven moves in silence in ways that our human minds struggle to comprehend. What appears abrupt, what feels painful, is often a sacred act of protection. God removes people not to punish you, but because they no longer have permission to stay in the path of your destiny. Think about it. If the departure had been accompanied by explanations, conversations, or lingering justifications, would your heart have truly accepted it? Would your soul have moved forward, or would you have clung to fragments of what was meant to fade? Chosen one, silence is intentional. It is divine speed at work, a force of unseen energy realigning your life. Doors that close quietly spare your spirit from negotiating what your future has already outgrown. They prevent you from bargaining for access to something your soul no longer belongs with. Sometimes the most loving act God performs is a silent withdrawal, a removal that feels abrupt but is in fact purposeful. When someone exits without warning, it is also a test of trust. Can you believe that God is working, even when you cannot see the whole picture? Can you surrender to the pain, not as a punishment, but as a sacred signal? Every sudden absence carries a message. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the season you are entering. Some people are chapters, not destinies. Some connections are meant to teach, to reveal, or to challenge, but not to accompany your full journey. And the moment you accept this truth, your heart begins to breathe again. Your soul begins to recalibrate, sensing that space has been cleared for what is truly aligned with your purpose. And chosen one, pause here and ask yourself, who am I becoming in this silence? What clarity can I embrace when I no longer chase explanations that were never mine to hold? There's liberation in realizing that the sudden distance was never about abandonment. It was about advancement. Every exit without warning is a sacred pruning, a divine clearing, making room for light, for growth, and for the people who are meant to enter at the right time. And even if it feels lonely now, that loneliness is the quiet preparation for your next encounter, your next blessing, your next breakthrough. So the next time someone leaves without warning, don't scramble to reconstruct what was lost. Don't search for reasons that will never come in the human sense. Instead, look inward and ask, what is God clearing from my path? What freedom am I stepping into, unseen but divinely ordained? Trust that the absence is making way for presence, the void is making way for fullness, and the silence is preparing the perfect resonance for your next season. Chosen one, what left quickly could never have remained slowly. And this truth alone should bring your heart the peace it has been seeking, because God's removals are never random. They are sacred, they are intentional, and they are exactly what your destiny required. Chosen one, have you ever replayed the past, wondering why things happened the way they did? Have you questioned why people acted the way they did, leaving gaps in your heart that you couldn't fill, or motives that felt hidden behind smiles and promises? There is a sacred reason why understanding often comes late. What you couldn't see then, you will understand later, with clarity, not pain. God has a timing for revelation. He doesn't reveal everything at once because some truths are too heavy for your heart before it has fully healed. And chosen one, sometimes mercy wears the face of mystery. Think about it. How many times have you tried to make sense of someone's departure, only to spiral into confusion or self-doubt? The truth is, if God had shown you every motive, every hidden intention, while your spirit was still fragile, it could have caused more harm than good. Some truths, some intentions, are too intense to carry before your foundation is strong. That is why understanding often comes later. That is why a memory, a conversation, or a subtle pattern clicks only when you are ready to see it without being broken by it. And when that moment comes, you will feel a quiet relief. You will realize that the separation was not a curse or a mistake. It was mercy, divinely timed to shield you from what you could not yet bear. Not everything that was hidden from you was evil, and not everything revealed in hindsight will bring anger or resentment. Some things were simply unsafe for your spirit to carry at the time. God, in His infinite wisdom, revealed only what you needed in the moment, protecting you from the rest until your heart could withstand the full picture. And chosen one, there is a profound freedom in that realization. There is a liberation in knowing that what you could not see was not your burden to carry, but a preparation for the clarity you would one day receive. Ask yourself this: how many times have you judged situations or people prematurely, feeling wounded by their actions or words, only to discover later that there was a purpose behind their silence or departure? Each hidden motive is a lesson, a piece of the puzzle that your soul needed to grow. The confusion, the unanswered questions, the restless nights, they were not meaningless. They were part of the divine design, gently guiding you toward discernment, resilience, and spiritual awakening. And chosen one, consider this: the delay of understanding is a gift. It allows you to approach truth with strength, without bitterness. It allows you to look back and say, I was protected even when I felt abandoned. The revelation will come in its perfect season. It will arrive gently, like dawn breaking through the night, illuminating the shadows that once confused you. And in that moment, your heart will recognize the wisdom in every departure, every hidden agenda, every unexplained silence. You will see that the universe was never against you, that every delay was designed to cultivate clarity, and that every hidden motive was a part of the divine orchestration protecting your destiny. So when questions arise, when memories stir, and when the past calls your attention, remember, not all truths are meant for now. Some are reserved for your perfect timing. Trust that God is the ultimate revealer of motives, the ultimate protector of your heart, and the ultimate guide in your journey. One day, everything will make sense. And chosen one, when that day arrives, your spirit will recognize the mercy in what was hidden, the wisdom in what was delayed, and the love in every divine orchestration that brought you safely here. Chosen one, have you felt it? The quiet shift in your life where certain people, certain situations, and certain energies no longer resonate with your spirit? Have you noticed that as you rise in clarity, as you embrace your calling, some connections seem to fade almost without explanation? This is not abandonment. This is sacred pruning. God is gently but deliberately removing what drains your energy, not because it is evil, not because it is undeserving of love, but because it is no longer aligned with the frequency your soul has stepped into. This is divine precision at work, choosing your spiritual ecosystem for growth, strength, and peace. Ask yourself, who in your life feels heavy now? Who leaves you exhausted after every interaction? Chosen one, these are not coincidences. These are signs of spiritual pruning. When your frequency shifts, when your heart elevates to a higher resonance, certain energies can no longer survive in your presence. That doesn't make them wrong. That doesn't make you cold or unfeeling. It makes you aligned. You did not change for the worse, you changed for the higher. And when that shift occurs, people who were never meant to accompany you on your journey will begin to fall away naturally. And yes, it feels lonely. It feels unsettling. The silence can echo in ways that shake your soul. But listen closely, chosen one. Loneliness in this season is sacred. It is a sign that God is clearing space for something greater. Pruning always precedes growth. A tree cannot grow taller without shedding the old leaves that weigh it down. A flower cannot bloom fully while its roots are entangled with weeds that choke its nourishment. And in the same way, your spirit cannot expand fully while holding on to energies that no longer serve your higher purpose. Consider this. Every connection, every relationship, every pattern that has been removed is not loss. It is preparation. It is creating room for stronger roots, deeper understanding, and a peace that no longer depends on permission from others. When the unnecessary is removed, your heart begins to breathe freely again. Your mind begins to think clearly again. Your spirit feels lighter, and suddenly life flows with a rhythm that matches the person you are becoming. God is always making space for alignment, not just for companionship, but for destiny. And chosen one, reflect for a moment. Are you resisting the pruning because of comfort, habit, or fear of being alone? Or are you allowing God to do what only He can do? Reshape your spiritual garden for growth, clarity, and divine purpose. The removal of energy, of people, of situations is never random. It is intentional, it is precise, it is love, and while it may hurt in the moment, it is always preparing you for a life that is lighter, freer, and more attuned to the divine plan. Pruning does not happen to break you. It happens to awaken you. It happens to prepare you for abundance that is greater than you could have imagined when the old misaligned energies were still present. What is leaving your life now is not a reflection of your unworthiness. It is a reflection of your readiness. Your readiness to step into spaces, relationships, and opportunities that honor your spiritual growth, that resonate with your frequency, and that support the purpose your soul has always been destined to fulfill. So when you feel the emptiness, when you feel the silence, remember this. God is pruning, not punishing. He is clearing, not condemning. He is making room for what aligns with your highest self. And chosen one, when you embrace this truth, you will feel it. The quiet joy of liberation, the calm certainty of alignment, and the deep knowing that every removal, every shift, and every departure is divinely orchestrated to bring you closer to the person you were always meant to become. Chosen one, have you ever caught yourself running after someone who has already stepped out of your life? Have you stayed awake at night, replaying memories, conversations, and moments that no longer belong? Oh, hoping that somehow, things could return to the way they were? Listen closely, because every time you chase what God has already removed, you reopen a wound that heaven was trying to close. Every chase pulls you back into the past, stirring pain, confusion, and restlessness that your spirit is no longer meant to carry. It is not love that makes you chase. It is resistance to divine timing, a subtle refusal to trust that God knows the perfect moment, the perfect path, and the perfect alignment for your life. Ask yourself, chosen one, why do we cling to what is no longer ours? Why do we try to negotiate with destiny as if our own hands can rewrite what heaven has already ordained? God knew that if the door remained open, if the access was available, Your heart would keep bleeding for something that has already served its season. And that bleeding, that lingering attachment, blocks your healing. It prevents you from stepping fully into the new, the elevated, the aligned. Chasing what has been removed keeps you tethered to the old, slowing the divine flow that is waiting for you to step into your next chapter. Healing begins the moment you pause, the moment you stop asking, why did they leave, and instead start trusting why God allowed it. This shift is not passive, it is active surrender. It is saying, I will not fight the wisdom of heaven. I will not cling to what was never mine to hold. I will trust the unfolding of my path, even when I cannot see the full picture. Chosen one, when you allow this, a profound calm enters your spirit. The anxiety, the overthinking, the constant replaying of past moments, suddenly they begin to dissolve. You start to see that what left was never meant to stay, and that the silence left behind is actually a sacred invitation to peace. Let what left stay gone. Do not chase it. Do not force it. Do not negotiate with the timeline that God has already set in motion. What is meant to return will find you effortlessly, without your energy being drained, without your spirit being shaken. And what doesn't return was never meant to walk with you into what's next. It is not rejection. It is not punishment. It is divine precision. And chosen one, every step you take away from chasing the past brings you closer to your own alignment, to your own peace, and to the blessings that are waiting to enter your life without friction, without struggle, without force. Have you noticed how the heart that stops chasing feels lighter? How the mind that stops negotiating the past becomes clearer? How the soul that surrenders to divine timing begins to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances. This is the magic of trusting heaven's orchestration. Chasing delays healing because it keeps you anchored in the old story, preventing the new chapters from writing themselves in your life. And chosen one, what is coming for you, what is being prepared, is far greater than anything you could hold on to by clinging to what has already passed. So the next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. Ask yourself, is this chasing life, or is this resistance to heaven's timing? Let go, step back, trust the process. Your soul will begin to breathe again. Your spirit will begin to expand again. And in that divine pause, you will start to notice something miraculous. What was meant to leave has truly left. What is meant to return is already on its way, and what is meant to be yours cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied. Healing, chosen one, is always a surrender away, and chasing will only keep you from receiving the fullness of what God has patiently reserved for you. Chosen one, have you noticed the quiet moments after the storm? Have you felt the subtle shift when the chaos fades and the echoes of absence no longer sting as sharply as before? Peace does not arrive with fanfare. It does not knock loudly or announce itself with grand gestures. Peace is subtle, gentle, and intimate. It settles quietly into your spirit like dawn, breaking softly over a dark horizon. One day, without warning, you will wake up and realize that you are breathing easier. The heaviness that once weighed on your chest has lifted. The anxiety that once kept your nights restless has softened. The tension that once made you shrink to fit the expectations of others has eased. And in that stillness, you will recognize a sacred truth. The separation you feared was actually your liberation. Have you been holding on to the idea that absence equals loss? That leaving is always rejection? Chosen one, what you are learning now is the divine rhythm of life. God never removes without purpose. Every separation, no matter how painful it felt in the moment, carries a hidden blessing. When someone or something is removed from your life, it is not to punish you, but to realign your spirit, to clear the clutter from your energy, and to make space for clarity that could not enter while confusion lingered. The silence that once hurt becomes the stillness that heals. What once felt like emptiness transforms into a sacred pause, a place where your soul can finally catch up with the growth that has been happening quietly within you. Ask yourself, chosen one, when did you last truly hear your own voice without interruption? When did your soul last feel the freedom to exist without having to explain, justify, or shrink for others? Separation, as painful as it feels, is often the only way to achieve this kind of clarity. Peace is the confirmation that God's hand has been at work behind the scenes, orchestrating events, clearing obstacles, and protecting you from what you were not ready to see. And in that peace, the world no longer feels as heavy. Your spirit no longer bears the weight of misalignment. You begin to feel whole again, not because the people or situations returned, but because you are finally aligned with yourself. And chosen one, reflect for a moment. How much of your past struggle was truly about others, and how much was about not trusting your own timing? How much of your pain came from holding on too long instead of letting go in faith? When you allow separation to complete its divine purpose, you will discover that peace is not only possible, it is inevitable. It will seep into every corner of your life, transforming the silence that once hurt into a sanctuary where your spirit rests. This peace also awakens a new awareness that what God removes is never truly gone. It is replaced with understanding, clarity, and alignment. The confusion that once occupied your mind now dissolves into certainty. The chaos that once rattled your heart now becomes a memory that no longer holds power over you. And in that stillness, you will finally hear yourself again, uninterrupted, unburdened, and in tune with who you were always meant to be. You will recognize that separation, as painful as it felt, was never the end. It was a sacred reset, a divine clearing, and a confirmation that the life, love, and clarity meant for you could now enter freely, without resistance. Chosen one, breathe into this truth. Peace is not just the absence of noise, but the presence of divine order in your soul. It is the gentle confirmation that every departure, every void, and every moment of stillness was orchestrated for your highest good. And when you embrace it fully, you will understand that what was taken away was never truly yours to carry, and what remains in your heart now is exactly what was always meant to stay. Chosen one, have you been waiting in the silence, feeling the weight of absence, wondering if anyone will ever truly align with the person you've become? Have you questioned whether the emptiness left behind will ever be filled with someone who sees, honors, and matches the depth of your spirit? Listen carefully, because what enters next into your life is not just a person or a connection. It is a reflection of the growth, the healing, and the alignment that you have cultivated. God does not leave spaces empty. Every pause, every quiet, every season of removal has been intentional, and He has been preparing the space for someone who can walk with you in harmony, not dissonance. Ask yourself this, chosen one, who do you allow into your sacred space? Who do you welcome into the garden of your heart after pruning, after healing, after all the seasons of letting go? The truth is, what enters next will not drain you. It will recognize you. They will meet you exactly where God has already elevated you. There will be no need to explain yourself, no need to prove your worth, no need to shrink or bend to fit another's expectations. This next connection comes with ease, not struggle, with clarity, not confusion. The energy feels natural because it resonates with the frequency that you have worked so hard to cultivate. Think about the people who left, the situations that failed, the connections that caused you to bleed. Those departures were not the end. They were preparation. They cleared the path, removed misalignment, and created space for what is truly meant to enter. And now, chosen one, that space is ready. The next season brings people who honor your growth, who respect your boundaries, and who walk beside you, not behind you, not ahead of you, but truly beside you, in equality and divine alignment. There is a sacred rhythm to this entrance. It is not rushed, it is not forced, and it is never out of season. Heaven orchestrates it perfectly, and you will recognize it immediately because it feels like home to your spirit. Have you ever noticed how the right connection doesn't exhaust you but energizes you? How it doesn't leave you questioning your worth, but affirms your soul's value? That is what is coming. This is not a replacement for what was lost, chosen one. It is an upgrade, a divine enhancement, perfectly aligned with the person you have become. It honors the struggles you endured, the lessons you absorbed, and the light you have cultivated through seasons of silence, pruning, and healing. And chosen one, reflect for a moment. Are you ready to receive without fear? Are you prepared to welcome someone who aligns with your spirit, who complements your journey rather than obstructs it? This is not about finding someone to fill a void. It is about receiving someone who amplifies the fullness of your life, someone who matches your frequency, and someone who will not dim your light but walk beside it. The universe does not send what is misaligned. It sends only what is ready for you, prepared for you, and calibrated for your destiny. So breathe, chosen one, and trust the timing. What enters next will feel effortless. It will feel sacred. It will feel like a confirmation that every season of removal, every moment of waiting, and every pause was designed to make this connection possible. You will recognize it immediately because it resonates with the version of you that has grown, healed, and aligned with divine purpose. And in that presence, you will finally understand that God's removals were never losses. They were openings for the perfect arrival. The right people, the right energy, and the right blessings are coming for you. And chosen one, you will know in your soul that they are exactly what you are meant to receive.